And we are back live here in Las Vegas. My name is Dave Vincent alongside Ashley Moeller for another hopefully exciting match. Hopefully this excitement comes from the play and not necessarily the calls from the referee. It is Chris Flash Tojin versus Ricky Polly G Ruiz. We'll just go by nicknames. Flash versus G. This is the men's round of 16, Ashley. And a quick point from Flash.
Chris Tojin, and during our second stop, was the Cinderella story of the tournament, making it all the way to the semifinals, which was a surprise to a lot of players that he took out on his way.
In our inaugural year, it was Ricky Ruiz making the finals of that first year in 2010 as he got defeated in a very close one against Samson Hernandez that year. Ricky was also in the top 3 for a couple stops, and then all of a sudden he bounced down to about 8 or 9 in the rankings.
Well, he did miss the second stop, not even entering because he was having shoulder problems.
Referee is calling. Thought the referee was going to call that unavoidable. That was one of the fans yelling it out. But the referee realized that Ricky went down for that shot and just stayed down, even though it wasn't a dive. Ricky's one of the only big ball players that is an elite player that will use the small ball sidearm stroke in the big ball game. He does a hybrid between the two where most players square up with their feet facing the front wall to hit that paddle. Ricky will actually go.
Oh, beautiful shot there.
Will go and place his feet toward the sidewall and stroke it like a small ball in a traditional 3-wall style. But he also will go with that paddle shot as well. You see. The score is 3-2 here. Having a little trouble with the audio from the referee, but we have no runners to go over there and tell him to turn his mic on. Referee's microphone is not pinned to his chest as it should be, and now he's going to get some help from Richie Estrella. You're watching this live broadcast at racefor8.com. Missing, but also appreciating Ashley Moeller in the process, but missing Dave Fink, who's normally at these events doing the live broadcast with us.
4-3. 4-2. Good. Huh? Good.
Now we have a TV timeout here with Pee Wee Castro trying to figure out his microphone situation. This is the World 3-Wall Ball Outdoor Handball Championships and Racquetball, as well as paddleball here at the Stratosphere Hotel and Casino. 3rd annual. And it looks better than ever. Graffiti art on all of the walls out here. It's going to be lit up out here this evening, Ashley, as the fans will pour in from off the strip. Right now it's fairly early.
Nighttime is one of the most exciting times of the day at this tournament because it's everybody's dream to play under the lights, and you can play well into the night here in Vegas, the 24-hour city.
And there's that little modified paddle from Ricky Ruiz into the right corner. Listen for the score from the referee.
6 playing 2.
6 serves 2. You're right, at the last stop, Tojin was, 2 stops ago, Tojin was a Cinderella story.
3. You guys
played incredible handball. I believe that was in Fullerton.
That's a warning, all right? 3 playing 6.
And then in the last stop, he lost to Ricky, I believe, in the quarterfinals.
But that was an entertaining match.
Actually, I believe it was the round of 16 because Ricky then was upset by Manny Sanchez.
That's one of those classic cases where the ball plays you instead of you playing the ball. You can see that Tojin was very tentative and not knowing how that ball would bounce off that plywood over there. That ball just over the short line. See, there's that sidearm stroke from Ricky. I think Ricky's just playing around here with Flash. Reason why we didn't see him for a couple stops is that he has a right elbow issue, kind of a tendonitis. And he said he just wanted to rest for Vegas. That ball's long and a free point for Ruiz.
That's a very frustrating point to lose. It's the only thing you really have control of in the entire match is your serve.
8-4.
When you hit it out of bounds, it's just, like you said, a free point for your opponent.
That ball just goes out the door. Beautiful shot from Ricky Ruiz. His brother Shorty is in the tournament. His other brother Martin is their personal trainer, and then Sergio, the uncle, he's their bodyguard. Don't see the father, Rambo, here.
I believe he will be here on Saturday, so the whole clan will be here to
9-4.
support possible semi and final matches.
I couldn't see nothing. He was blocking me. How do you see it?
Let's take a look if we can on a replay here. I did not see the call. I was not looking at the monitor at the time, and our big old Players Cup Championship trophy was in our way. Ricky's wanting to go with an appeal. He gets 3 of these in a match. If we can take a look at the replay with our director, Linda, I don't know exactly what the call is. Let's just see if this ball is in or out. That was the play before where there was a slight contact there. It's the play after that. Linda Manning back into the broadcast booth. We're stopping play here. Right there is the call. Let's look back, just slightly back. Stop the ball. Looks like it's hitting the line. Ball hits the line. I don't know what the call was out there on the floor, but ball clearly hits the line.
Fine board, Flash. Yeah.
That line is good at all times, even on the serve. The only time the line is bad is on the serve if it hits the short line.
4.
That's the rules here in Vegas.
No, it was 9. 10, serving 4.
It's a good camera angle right there, brought to you by Richie Estrella from Tucson, Arizona. Camera operator #1 here. And that's that sidearm stroke, I'm telling you. That's a small ball stroke from Ricky Ruiz, who goes down and is really the only one in the event that'll do that.
Well, it's very effective as long as you don't try to put too much power into it. If you just take a little off it,
11-4. Hold it, hold it.
But for anybody that plays both small ball and big ball, you get a big appreciation for being able to toggle between the two, because it's a very thin line on how you let that ball float out of your hand. It seems easy to do, but it's not. But Ricky is a small ball player traditionally and has even qualified on the 4-Wall Pro Tour. Qualified for Detroit 1 year with the USHA.
he's got a huge lead here in the first game, just making it look easy.
$13-4.
Score here is 13-4. Ricky is very comfortable playing Chris. There's a lot of other players that aren't, because Chris is so athletic. But you see Ricky's just walking through this first game here, and that's because he has never really lost to Chris, and he's dominated him, and it's more of a mental game at this point. Watch what Ricky does there, and he pushes that ball out the court. That's where you know you want to power that ball, and you hit it too hard. And there's a 2-wall serve, and there's a point for Ricky Ruiz.
I mean 5-14, sorry, 5-14.
And that is also game number 1, I believe, right there. With Ricky getting that point. 5-minute in-between game. That was a very anticlimactic finish right there, Ashley, because we didn't know what the call was, but obviously the ball hit the side wall. You don't have 2-wall serves. You're watching the first game here, which is now concluded. Ricky Ruiz defeating Chris Flash Tojin by the score of 15-5. We'll have game number 2 coming up right around the corner. You stick around. More action in just a bit here at racefor8.com.
They got the lines. It's low battery. So get new ones. Disconnect.
With good cameras, it's easy to be a
Pop
good
that.
photographer.
Pretty cool stuff, huh?
It's good, right?
Yeah, I love that. That's a good one. With the graffiti. Could you also take, on the next game, could you take a couple pictures of us?
Pop that, yeah.
Dave likes a lot of photos of himself. For his profile Facebook picture.
mom said
Can
if I
pop
kept
it up?
doing that, I'd go blind. And I said, I'm over here. I don't. I have it here somewhere.
And we are back live here for game number 2. Ricky Ruiz serving to Chris Flash Tojin. Chris trying to send that one out the left door, and he gets a side out, which also comes with a point. Ruiz wins the first one, 15-5. This is game number 2.
1, plain 0.
Nice deep serve right there from Chris. I also like that shot too, Ash. You and I try to do that, and it's sent out to Waveland Street.
Two, 0.
There's another free point for Ricky on a deep serve. You only get one serve here, and if you hit it out of bounds, it's a point
1-2.
because it is rally scoring as well.
That was Chris Flash flying into our camera stand.
I hope our cameraman signed a
2-2.
waiver.
Out.
Might have to get Ricky's uncle Sergio over
3-2.
here to have a little talk with Chris Tojin. Hitting our camera like that. And there's a beautiful little paddle from Ricky. So many of us try that shot, and you have to
4-2.
hit it just perfectly. Ricky's got that shot down.
Well, I had a chat with Ricky between games just now, and he said what he's trying to work on this game is just fundamentals and get his head right where it needs to be.
That was a sick rally right there from Ricky, who was fooled on that one shot that went around the left, out the left door, and then he was able to float it in, and then he came back into play. It was unbelievable. There's a great shot right there from Ricky Ruiz, who
5-2.
is now serving a 5-2. Great camera work out here in Vegas. So colorful. And that ball stays in. Chris thinks it's going to go out. And that's another thing about these double painted lines. Your peripheral vision see a line come up and you say, oh, I'm letting that go. And then you find out it's the wrong line.
Yeah. That's when you have to get in your head, you're better safe than sorry. And you have to be a little more aggressive on some balls you might think could be going out of the line so that you don't lose a point.
Well, the great philosopher Vern Roberts said that if you believe the ball is going to go out, you should just hit it anyway, unless it's given that it will be out, because he said if you're standing on the line, there's about a 90% chance that ball is going to actually be in play, so you might as well take it. And it looked like Chris tried to take a chance and was not successful. Let's take a quick look at the broadcast booth if we can here. This is the Players' Cup that will go to the champion. To hold this thing up here, I mean,
it's very heavy.
I'm trying to be a gentleman here, but this is not easy to do,
here.
Ash. Look at that cup.
And the Cup Series includes all of the 3 stops that we had in Southern California this year, with the first one being in Edison Park in Huntington Beach. The second one went to Fullerton at Craig Park, and the third one just last month at Huntington Beach again at Marina Park. And this is the championships for that big ball cup, and the winner with the most points will win this beautiful cup.
That beautiful cup is now sitting over in its hermetically sealed vault.
3-7.
I had to take it out. I have to take my little white gloves off now. That ball's out. Chris tries to go to that high wrap that goes out the left door, but it just didn't stay in for him. This is a 23-foot wide court.
It's a nice shot there by Chris Tojin. In order for Chris to get back in this game, he needs to really become comfortable really fast with the dimensions of the court. He's been hitting a lot of long serves and balls out of bounds and thinking they're going to be in and going out, and vice versa.
9-4.
9-4 is the score here. Ricky just pokes that ball back, and then Flash sends it up into the netting that they have this year. That's one of the great improvements.
10-4.
Off top of your head, the improvements from previous years, Ashley, as this plays back in here. What do you see that stands out? Your top 3 improvements from last year to this year at the Vegas 3-wall ball tournament.
Well, the floor is definitely the biggest improvement by far, I would say, with the yellow lines painted on the gray surface. Last year we had the red linoleum-like surface with white lines painted. It's very difficult to see the lines.
Are you considering that 2 changes or just one?
Well, the floor is included in
floor,
one,
okay, all right. What's your second change?
The second would probably be the little netting they put up above the wall, so it will try to catch more of the balls from going over and rolling down the Las Vegas Strip.
I'm going to finish the third for you. Ready?
Go for it.
The 1-wall court.
Oh, absolutely.
So we have the addition of the 1-wall court. We will have some action a little later on here on the parking lot surface.
11-5.
It's been so frequently used already before the tournament even started that it just seems like it's been there the whole time.
There's been more games played on the 1-wall court than the 3-wall show court that you're watching right now, in fact.
6-11.
That's a beautiful overhand fish shot, powered out from Ricky Ruiz, who looks very impressive in this opening round.
12-5.
And another shot like that from Chris Tojin will give him points.
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. It's 7-7. 7-12. Huh? No, it was 6-12.
Score is 6-12, not 7-11.
I know. It's 7-12 now. Hold it.
Now, I apologize. It's now 7-12.
7-12.
And that seemed like one of those where it caught the white strip that you see on the court that is to protect the corners from people diving into them and cutting themselves open.
There's that sidearm stroke, that small ball sort of mentality from Ricky Ruiz, who just strokes that ball down the right wall and then calls a timeout after getting a point. You're watching the 3-wall ball outdoor handball Championships. You see racquetball over there. Let's take a look at camera number 1 with Richie Estrella sweeping back over toward the racquetball action. I'm not sure if Richie's able to hear us, but let's take a look, Richie, at some of that racquetball action that's going on over there so you can see from the spectators' standpoint here. We have racquetball right next to the handball courts. That's 9-time national champion Rocky Carson serving the ball in his opening round of his singles. This is one of the most decorated racquetball champions of all time, Rocky Carson.
I took it for 300.
There he is going for his forearm stroke, and he gets another point. Rocky Carson is a standout in racquetball, but a familiar face here in the broadcast booth. Rocky and I trade training tips and health food tips via Facebook.
But you apparently don't listen.
I don't listen. I said we trade them. We don't listen, but we do trade.
Do you give him tips on how to successfully get in the buffet line?
13 serving 8.
Yes. I mean, I'm working on trying to make him more healthy. Looks like he's lost a little bit of weight. And he tries to help me out. Now we're back into play on this court with a quick side out and a point for Flash.
9-13.
9 serves 13. Now it's going to be game and match for Ricky Ruiz with 14 serves 9. This is a very early exit.
One wall
for Flash. I know it's only 1 point early, but
match point, plan 9.
We will be flipping over to small ball right after this.
Game.
And there it is. Ricky Ruiz takes down Chris Tojin by the score of 15-6 and 15-9 here in game number 2. We're going to take a break. 15 minutes from now, we'll be back with more action as one of the Flying Cordova brothers, this time Daniel, new recruit, signee, alum, going to be part of the co-ed group there at LFC this year. He's coming out from Juarez, Mexico via Chicago, and will be playing the Wizard, Sal Duenas, in a men's small ball quarterfinal single match in about 14 minutes from now. You stick around. We'll have more action in just a bit here live at racefor8.com.
It's time to join forces. Get energized and fuel up right. Because starting today, every kid in America has a mission. Bring out the action hero in you. Be part of the greatest action movie ever. The first movie that puts you in the action. Show us how you train and eat like an action hero. Join in at actionheroalliance.com.
7,000 high school students drop out every school day. That's a line of desks more than 4 miles long. We can keep students in school. Visit boostup.org and take the first step.